All right, guys, welcome back to another episode on the Dynamic Lifestyle Podcast. So, got Chris over here with me, and it's funny. I have to start this off on a funny note because before we even hit the record on this is the first time that you and I have done a podcast like solo round from a distance, right? So I'm in Northern California, you're in Southern California, and we're doing it through Zoom. So we were just kind of scrambling around, like, how are we going to do this? Like, are we going to show images for those that are watching the YouTube video? And I don't know. So I'm excited about it. We're going to roll with it. We're going to have some fun with it. If we mess up, it's all good. But I'm really pumped up, man, just about this special episode, just because this is the episode where we're talking about the new book that we launched, Rise of the Fit Pros.
Yeah, it's funny, man. It's just it's crazy. I didn't think that I would be here, like 4 days away from launching this book out to the masses. That you'd be in NorCal, I'd be here in SoCal, and doing it through Zoom like this, man. We should be doing it in person, but that's the name of this kind of the theme with this pandemic is adapting and pivoting, just making it work, right?
Yeah, and we don't got to get into that whole situation as to why we're in different locations. That's a whole nother podcast episode. But yeah, you're right. We're just making the best of it, and this is all about just delivering value to the listeners. And man, the reason I'm pumped too is because this is like 231 episodes in, right, that we're doing, and just for all the listeners, the loyal supporters that have supported us through this, right? Even fitness professionals, back to when we, coach fitness clients, right? This is amazing. So that's why I'm just really pumped up about this whole episode, because we're going to talk a little bit about just obviously the book, right? Rise of the Fit Pros. We're going to talk about a little bit of different concepts in it, why the fitness professionals should invest in this book and steal all the amazing info that we put in it. Literally, I'm saying you guys are going to steal a bunch of info because it's jam-packed just with that. So it's pretty much a book just full of just practicality, application, frameworks to help you create more income, impact, influence, and independence as a fitness professional. So let's do it, man. Like, where do you want to kick off? Where do you want to kick this off on?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, you got ran out of LA because you didn't pay rent and you had a mob looking for you. I'm just kidding.
Sure.
But yeah, before we jump into it, man, I just want to, piggyback on that too, to where like this book, we wrote our first one, The New Era of Fitness, and that was to health and fitness type of like, consumers and stuff like that, and that was written in 2017. And that was a great book too. But now that book with The New Era of Fitness, I'm actually looking at it to where that could be used for a fitness professional and teaching them all of our concepts that we actually use to coach thousands of clients, the past 8 years online and in person. So that's a great resource too.
Absolutely.
I'm just excited though, man, because, we went to Palm Springs in November to write this book, and we literally dedicated 4 full days locked into like an Airbnb place in Palm Springs to write this book, from start to finish. And it just turned out really, really good, man. And of course, like with this pandemic and stuff, like we were supposed to launch this, I think March, right? And, April,
Yeah.
May, pretty much. Yeah. So like 3 months we had to push it back. And that's just, we didn't feel right putting it out at that time, with everything going on, just people's attention spans, like what was going on. We were even kind of like, shit, what the heck's going on? What are we going to kind of do? Like we have to pivot and adapt and stuff. So, it's just been a long time coming, putting this out, and I'm just excited about it as well too. Cause like what you said earlier, like it's literally 10 years of experience in this book, man. Like literally blood, sweat, tears, entrepreneur scars, like literally $500,000, I would say, put into this book of just like this, building this up, your mindset from like Tai Lopez's Disaster Mind, Cole Hatters, private coaching is Mark Lax, Sue B. Zimmerman, everything you possibly think about, man, and mistakes, right? So it is a really great resource, for you, the fitness professional. And also too, if you're just looking to build an online business too, you switch out some of those things in the book, hit a couple of keyboards on there. It'll switch it out. And this is for anybody that's like a coach, a consultant that wants to build an online coaching or consulting business.
Yeah, no, well said. And I really like the point how you said that, we had this massive game plan, right, to launch this in early March, and even it was probably late February, right? But it just goes to show that, in entrepreneurism, there, you just never know what's going to hit, right? There's always going to be some sort of curveball where you're just not expecting it. You can sit there and plan for the best. You want this to happen, but the universe doesn't care sometimes about all the plans you have, like your deadlines, the dates, and all that. So it just, to me, yeah, I was a little bummed at first, but I mean, I've came to peace with it. I've surrendered to it, and it's fine. Maybe even now it's an even better time to push this book out, right? Because considering the circumstances of the gyms closing down, a lot of PTs, questioning, should I still be a fitness professional? Why do I sit there and invest my, career into certifications, to, education, and there's a lot of uncertainty going forward, right? But my intention and my hope is, getting this book into, hundreds of thousands of fitness professionals, right? And it doesn't matter if it's like yoga, bodybuilding, just CrossFit, whatever. A fitness professional is a fitness professional. They're changing lives. They're giving people hope, right? I mean, it's the best job in the world. I really truly mean that. And that's my whole hope for this book, is just to reach the hands of people right now if they're going through, self-doubt and they're questioning their future as a fitness professional going forward, to reframe their mind and, uplift them, reignite that fire, and show them all the possibility going forward that, as a fitness professional, and what you could really do by applying a lot of these different frameworks and concepts that we put in the book.
Yeah, absolutely, man. 100%. So I have to give you a virtual fist pump for that, or what they're calling it these days on Zoom, a Wi-Fi or whatever like that. But
a Wi-Fi, yeah.
Great point, man. I think also where we can kick this off on is kind of like one of the core tenets that we've developed in our Dynamic Fit Pro program is ADAPT, ADAPT, right? So right now, more than ever, you need to adapt, right? Because of the circumstances, the new fitness industry that you're facing with this pandemic going forward, right? And if I walk you through this acronym, the A stands for accept. Are you ready to accept that things are changing, that it's a new landscape, it's going to be a new industry going forward? You have to accept that. The D stands for deliver. And I mean massive delivery, like over delivering to your clients, your community, your followers, people that are, really, really looking for you to be like that game changer and that life changer, for their health and fitness and more, their mindset as well too. And then the A stands for adapt, right? So are you ready to adapt to these new things that are going on, right? And then the PT stands for personal trainer. So are you ready to adapt as a personal trainer, as a fitness professional with all this going on? And that's why I think right now the perfect timing to release this book is because the question is, are you ready to adapt, and are you ready to rise up as a fitness professional in these circumstances where you're needed so freaking much right now, so freaking much.
Yeah. And that's a great point. And it's like any other profession, right? Like, even with this whole pandemic that hit, it's like everybody had a curveball thrown at them, to where it's like they had to question, do I want to stay in this industry, or do I want to figure things out? Am I really that passionate about this? Do I really want to serve people? Is this really my calling and assignment in life? And that's what you got to ask yourself as a fitness professional. If you're still 100% in the game, you still want to do this, you want to help people out, then continue listening to this podcast, continue to, pursue, more education, and even, get our new book, right? If not, if you're questioning that, then just hit the stop button on this and just exit out, because that's the type of people I want to work with in my programs. I want to work with Dynamic Fit Pros, right? That, when shit hits the fan, when a little adversity kicks in, it's almost like, all right, like I'm ready. Like, bring it. What's the next thing? How do I make this, how do I make this like mess into a message? How do I, make this into a blessing in disguise? And that's just what it takes. If you're really bought into being an entrepreneur, a fit pro, it's like, you better have some thick skin and figure out how to sit there and adapt and pivot to certain situations.
Yeah. And I'm glad you nailed that, because I was going to say too, to be 100% frank and blunt, and I don't care if this hurts anybody's feelings, but I don't want anybody that has one foot in like the pond right now.
Yeah.
With that, right? It's either you're all in or just get out, right? And it's harsh, it's blunt, but you know what? That's how we are in our program is, we're unapologetic and we tell the truth and we're honest. And if you're listening to this and you have one foot in, you're still contemplating, or you're looking for a little side hustle or something like that, then this isn't the podcast for you. This isn't the show for you. Our book isn't for you. Our Dynamic Fit Pro program isn't for you, right? We want people that are all in on this, that want to go out there and change people's lives and serve, right? So, that's kind of how I want to kick this off with this adapt, rising as a fit pro, with the theme of the book as well too. I don't know if you want to go straight into the book right now. Do you want to talk about something else, or?
No, I think that's good. I think that's good how we kind of just set the tone for this podcast. I mean, let's go into, how about you share an image of the table of contents, and then that way I can kind of just read off of like what like the listeners can expect, if they do, or if they do have a curiosity of like, hey, what's this this whole rise of the Fit Pros thing about, that these two twins with huge eyebrows are putting out to the world?
Right. No, this is cool too, because I mean, I've been watching some Joe Rogan. I'm like, Joe Rogan's podcast and his whole development's dope, you know? So I was like, how can we make this a little Joe Rogan style? So
Yeah, even I mean, like I said, like you gotta adapt and figure out different things to do with these Zoom ones. So okay, scroll down to the table of contents. So guys, if you are listening to the audio, I love you guys, but you guys do have an opportunity to hop onto YouTube and see this whole image and the images we're going to share. Okay, cool. So let's start this off. So the table of the contents in the Rise of the Fit Pros book is, so we have obviously the foreword by Mike Arce, which is one of our mentors, amazing guy. He is the owner of GSD and Loud Rumor. So he's heavily into helping gym owners, scale their businesses and get more leads. So it was just really cool that he took the time to write the forward for our book, and he did an amazing job, so definitely grateful for that. After that, we have the preface, we have the introduction. Now is the time to rise as a fit pro, even more now considering these circumstances. Chapter 1 is all about in-person personal training. Chapter 2 is about online personal training. Chapter 3 is enter the hybrid training model, right? So a hybrid training model is, go ahead. Yeah. But just to tell you guys, the hybrid model is a combination of in-person and an online business put together. So you have two best of the both worlds.
Yeah. And so like what we talk about and go really in depth is the 4 different hybrid training models that we use with our students right here: remote hybrid, 80/20 hybrid, best of both worlds hybrid, and extra cash hybrid on there. So that is all in the book right there if you guys want to learn more about that. So let's go back to this. All right.
All right, so you interrupted me. So chapter 4 is, we'll talk about the power of your story, your why, and your vision. Chapter 5 is identifying your avatar niche. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I keep interrupting them, but I got images for this, guys. So yeah, in this one right here, when we help you, identify your avatar, your niche, step 1 of this is identifying the core market. You want to work with sports performance, general health and lifestyle, body recomposition, physique competitors, corrective pain management, fat loss. And then we obviously get deeper and deeper into step 2, 3, and 4 in finding your niche and your avatar. All right.
Yeah.
Are you a fitness professional looking to create more income, impact, influence, and independence? If so, we actually just dropped our new book, Rise of the Fit Pros, so you guys can be on your way to doing all those things, and you can sit there and build your hybrid training model. So if you're interested in getting your copy, make sure to click the book or the link right here, and you guys can grab it. Other than that, make sure to enjoy the rest of the show.
Absolutely. Okay, so then I left off on, chapter 6, right, is money-making opportunities, pricing, and packaging. Chapter 7 is lifetime valuable customer experience, referrals, and how to display and get social proof. Chapter 8 is all about marketing, sales, lead generation, and capturing more leads. Chapter 9 is implementing the PALMS method, right? So I can't even tell you what the PALMS method is because it's like secret ninja stuff. So you guys have to get the book to understand what the PALMS method is, but the PALMS method is badass. Let's just put it that way. Chapter 10 is playing the long game as a fit pro. Again, what we said earlier, we want people that are, 100% all in on this game of being a fit pro. And then we're going to do a conclusion. Then we have an afterword, resources, and then about the authors. So that is the whole entire book of the Rise of the Fit Pros book. And it's like about 125 pages. Not too bad. So I know when I see thick books that are like 200, 300 pages, I kind of get intimidated.
So I would say too, man, like one of my favorite chapters is right here, chapter 8, marketing, sales, lead gen, and capture. Because again, like if we kind of go back to, what we teach in like the Dynamic Fit Pro program, it's be a fitness marketer first and a coach second. And a lot of people kind of get that twisted and they freak out, right? Because they're like, no, I got into the fitness industry because I want to be a badass coach. I want to get people results. And what people don't realize is like, okay, you can be the most badass coach. You can have a PhD, you can have all these certifications, you can have all the knowledge, but if you can't market yourself, if you can't display or position yourself as, the go-to person, that niche, that expert, I mean, how are you going to sit there and create more income, more impact, influence, and independence, right? You have to understand how to market and get yourself out there. Then you have to understand how you have to be able to close those leads, right? Yeah. Then you have to display the social proof, position yourself as the expert, create content, social media, all that type of stuff. So that's what a dynamic fit pro is, to be 100% honest in a nutshell, right? But that's one of my favorite chapters because I love teaching marketing, lead generation, sales, and how to be able to be that dynamic fit pro that separates yourself from all those average fit pros that just want to train people people just count their reps and all that type of stuff.
And you know what? I could tell, why you like that chapter so much, because you wrote that chapter.
I did, man. I remember that's the one that took the longest too.
That's where the passion, the fire comes from on that.
That's where we took a break and like we hit the pool over there in Palm Springs. We went down the slide. I remember we put that on Instagram. That was funny though. But
yeah, I couldn't do that because I was injured.
Yeah, that's when you
All right, so let's shift gears here on just more of like why, what's in it for, the Fit Pro, that invest in this book. And really quick too, I really thought about this earlier, before this podcast too, and just like looking over this book and even just going down those chapters and table of contents, like literally like this whole book is, you don't even have to be a fitness professional, honestly, to even, get this book and invest in it. And there's so many different concepts, frameworks to where, it will help you as an entrepreneur and a business owner. And even if like you're in a consulting business, whatever, to where it's insane, like all the amount of stuff that we've dumped into this book. And yeah, I don't know why I just thought about that, but I'm just like, even though it's called Rise of the Fit Pros, like this whole thing could be used for so many different like entrepreneurs and business owners.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. What I was going to say before we get into like these 6 bullet points that we have kind of written down, I don't want to miss them, so we had to write them down, but talk a little bit about the audiobook though, because I thought that was a pretty cool story. I was writing the emails yesterday and I thought about that story. So I was like, man, let's share that on the podcast.
Yeah, that was actually really good. So guys, if you guys have ever, written a book or you guys are aspiring to write a book, I'm not going to say don't do it. Just, understand and be prepared that it's a shit load of work and a lot of stress, but it's gratifying. So we'll see, going forward. And, I just, like I said, it's just, you don't know what it's like until you actually get your hands dirty and do this whole process. But to kind of tell the story. So we had to do an audio version of it. Right. And like I said, it's a lot of work to do that because you have to be in one place. You have to be very still. It's got to be super quiet. Like the microphones have to be on point, or else, the software company that you have to upload it to, which is called ACX, I think it's through Audible or Amazon. They're very particular and strict on the guidelines with the audio, how it sounds, the quality, to where it's like, you don't want to mess up. So it's a lot of pressure almost, to where it's like, you have to be there like a statue and just like read off like a iPad, a screen, and then you got to make it entertaining, right? That's a whole nother level. So the first book that we did, it was like robotic. It was boring. I have to admit that, but this second one, the audio was a lot more fun. It was entertaining, and we said some jokes, told some stories. So I really enjoyed this one. But we did this at our mom's house, right, in Northern California, where I'm at. I actually did it in this room, and we didn't have like any resources. We didn't have any good setups for this, for the microphones, all that. So what I had to do was I had to literally attach this mic that I'm using right here on this podcast. I had to like attach it to like the bike, a stationary bike handle. And then there was like a lamp next to it as well too. So I literally had to get resourceful and creative and make it just stay in that position to where I sat there and had to read and make it comfortable off a script. So, sometimes you got to do what you got to do to make things work, and you can't use any excuses. It's like either you get that shit done or you don't. So literally that's pretty much the story. And in a nutshell, we got it done. It turned out good. And it's just a cool experience to look back at and laugh at.
Yep. And I'm getting you on Instagram stories right now.
What's up, guys? What's up, Instagram?
This is the finale of this pro tip series where we're going over our book because we're getting ready to launch next week. So I had to get Eric while he was telling the audiobook story. All right. So I got that. But yeah, that was a funny story, man, to tell on the audiobook. And then really quick, before we get into these 6 bullet points, with the audiobook, I actually really enjoyed doing that this time, because last time when we did the New Era Fitness one, it was a pain in the fucking ass. Right. And
yeah, and it was even easier setup though. That's what's funny.
Yeah, it was like this whole little studio and stuff like that. But this one was so much easier because I think it was the 3 years of the podcasting experience, right? So
good point.
We're better on audio.
Good point.
Like interviews. So this one was cool because like we could sit there and tell jokes in there. We could like play around. We could tell little stories in there. We can elaborate like off like student like success stories, all these type of things that you can't really do in the book because you can't go back and be like, oh man, I should have like wrote that, So while it's audio, it's like live. You're telling all these stories and just joking around, showing your personality. So if you guys don't like the book, if you're not a book reader, check out the audio because that one was pretty fun, and like we joke around. You can see our personalities, but you can't see the big brows through the audio. So yeah.
So really what you're saying is that the improv classes and like you got funnier paid off.
that's a whole nother conversation with that improv class, which was fucking hard, man. I'm not going to get into that. That's another solo round, but yeah, maybe that,
Just messing with you.
yeah, but
Let's
yeah,
let's get into this.
yeah. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go off the very first one if you want to go off the second one, but
Okay, cool.
I want to write these out because I don't want to miss anything on here. Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
Six benefits onto why you should get Rise of the Fit Pros book. Okay. So the very first one is we have 101 different ways to make more money using the hybrid training model. Okay. So both in person and online. Literally throughout that book of 125 pages, you will get 101 different ideas on how you can make more money using the hybrid model of in person and online training.
All right. That's a good reason to get it. The second one is the power of your story, why, and vision to separate you from average fit pros and become a dynamic fit pro. And I literally, this one, it has to be explained in so much more depth because this is like part of a framework that we teach our inner circle students, right? To really just establish themselves as a personal brand, then get into their services and really figure out their differentiation to being, dynamic fit pros instead of just average fit pros. So this whole section, this whole, chapter is just like probably the foundation of what's going to give you so much clarity going forward.
Exactly. All right, cool. So third one, how to identify your avatar, niche, specialty, unique selling proposition so you can create more impact, influence, income, and independence as a fit pro. So again, we've worked with hundreds of fit pros the past 3 years, right? And a huge mistake they make is not sharing their story, right? Your story is literally the number one marketing asset you can have, right? It is so powerful. It can't be replaced or replicated. Okay. So you have to understand how to get your story out there. Then after that, you got to find your niche and your avatar and figure out what your specialty and method is as a coach, because too many times I've seen fit pros where they're speaking to the masses. They're trying to help every single person out, but you got to find those first 100 perfect people. And then you got to scale that to your 1,000 true fans.
Amen. Okay. The next point is why you need to be a fitness marketer first, which you talked about a little bit earlier, which is very, very, true. Then you need to learn not to be afraid to sell and reframe your mindset to serve and transform lives. Right. So again, powerful section and concept and frameworks that we teach in this to where it's just invaluable, right? And one of our mentors, Mike Zeller, always, used to tell us, right, before we were like scared to sell or we looked at selling as bad as this, he's like, no, he's like, you have to look at selling as serving at its highest level, right? So we talk a lot about that in that section, and it's just a game changer. After you read that, you're going to be like, Chris Eric fist pump.
Yep. Number 5, consider implementing our PALMS method, PALMS method that has helped hundreds of our private dynamic fit pro students. Okay. Again, I can't tell you what PALMS is.
Can't do that.
With audiobook, but just realize though, it's not just all about just being a fit pro and making money though. There's other elements to it with like mindset, lifestyle, all that type of stuff. So we talk all about that in the book on how to bring that all together.
Last but not least, we're going to teach you guys how to make an additional 1 to 2K per month using all of our, lead generation strategies, our frameworks, concepts, the whole shebang. So I'll just end it at that, to where, like I said, this whole book right here is just stacked. That's pretty much the word I can use. It's stacked. And again, it's the way we kind of started saying this earlier. It's just like, you're either in it or you're not. You're either ready to adapt or you're not. And for me, when I started off as a fitness professional 10 years ago, if I would have came across something like this, holy shit, like I would have saved so much money, so much heartache, so much self-doubt, and throwing in the towel, to where it's like, it's priceless. Something like this, that it's probably gonna be like what, $10 that we'll charge, can change your entire, future going forward and just build different skill sets.
Yeah. The biggest thing too, man, is like, it took us almost like close to 3 years to be profitable, right? Back then, there was so many like less resources out there and stuff. Social media wasn't even as big. I won't even get into everything, but this book will literally expedite that process. That's what we made this book for, is no bullshit. Go out there and like put these into practice, go make money. We could have sat there and made like a 200-300 page book, but nothing but fluff. I've seen all that shit. Right. But we want to make this straight to the point, a little bit over 100 pages, application, and how you can make more money as a fit pro, bottom line.
Yeah. Well said. You know what? I think we'll just leave it there, because I think we just kind of ran through everything. And, if I haven't been convincing enough to you, the fitness professional that's either listening or watching, then I'm not sure what else to say, but as we said before, if you're really, all in and invested in being a fitness professional, and I truly meant that it's probably the best damn profession, out there, because I say it's better than being a doctor. If you truly, truly know your shit, you know your nutrition stuff, your exercise stuff, you know how to treat people, change their lives, give them hope, then what other job is better than that, right? And being physically fit and mentally fit as well too. So
Yep.
guys, that's pretty much it for this episode. Go pick up the book at Dynamic Fit Pros. Oh no, correct me on that. Click the link below for the YouTube version. And if you guys want a copy that you're listening, head on over to riseofthefitpros.com and get the book, either Audible or the physical. And we're giving out some cool gifts as well there too, just because we're just generous guys. So yeah, if you guys are ready to, elevate, rise as a fit pro, head on over to riseofthefitpros.com, get your book. And we cannot wait to just, hear some feedback, reviews. Even if you guys don't like the book, you can be like, Chris, Eric, I didn't like the book. And we'd be like, cool, tell us where we need to improve.
Yep. Absolutely. And if you guys want the ebook too, we have that too. You guys can pop it up on your iPads, tablets, and then we're considering doing like a video book, a video version of the book, but we'll see how that goes,
I'm pretty burnt out. I don't know.
I know. But other than that, man, that's all I got, like if you can't convince, the listener right now, I mean, I don't know what else to do, to be honest, but it's like $7-8, right? Just cover the shipping, right? And it's just, and this can be a game changer for you. It really, really can, as a fitness professional.
Absolutely. I'll leave on this note really quick. I want to tell you that I'm proud of you for writing this book. Dude, it's been amazing an amazing journey putting this whole thing together, and literally like I wouldn't trade it for the world. So it's like, I can't wait to see going forward how this is going to impact people and really help people, so kudos to you, man. Always there, virtual fist pump for that. And yeah, guys, I think that's really it. Just thank you so much for always, being supportive to us and, for listening us, following us. And if you are a fitness professional, I am telling you guys right now to go pick up this book. That's it. We're out of here, guys.
All right, guys.
Hey, thank you so much for watching this video and another episode on pro tips on living a dynamic lifestyle. We truly appreciate it. Hopefully you got a lot of value out of it. If you're interested in getting more value like this from these pro tips, make sure to subscribe above. We're going to be dropping these daily. Also, if you are a fitness professional and you're looking to create more income, impact, influence, and independence, we just dropped our new book, Rise of the Fit Pros, so you guys can do all of that. And you can also start building your hybrid training model of in-person and online training. So make sure to click the link or the book right here to grab your guys' copy, and we'll send it over to you. Other than that, we're out. Talk to you soon.